Have you ever paused in the stillness of your own room, maybe late at night with the world hushed around you, or in the soft golden glow of early morning, and wondered if that private moment of self-pleasure, the one you've carried like a quiet companion through the decades, the one you thought was yours alone to savor, might be doing more to your body and soul at 70 or 80 than you've ever dared to consider? What if that intimate act, the one you've turned to for comfort, release, or even a fleeting taste of youth, is silently turning the dials of your health, sometimes lifting you up, sometimes dragging you down, in ways no one's ever had the guts to lay bare? It's a startling question, isn't it? One that might catch in your throat or make your heart skip a beat. Society's been whispering for years that sexuality dims with age, that desire should flicker out like a candle burned to its wick's end. But here you are, 70 or 80, still alive with that stubborn spark. And yet, there's a twist you might not see coming. In this video, we're plunging headfirst into a doctor's warning. 7 raw, unfiltered truths about masturbation in your later years that could flip everything you think you know about yourself, your body, and your well-being. I'm sorry to break it to you, but these aren't just idle musings. They're forged in science, tempered by real-life experience, and sharpened by the stories of those who've walked this path. Stay with us until the very end, because we're not here to judge or spook you. We're handing you a roadmap to navigate this terrain with confidence, balance, and a richer grasp of what your body's whispering or shouting at you. You might walk away surprised, maybe even relieved, by what you uncover, and skipping this could mean missing a shot at living your golden years fuller, wiser, and stronger than ever. Before we tear back this curtain, drop a quick comment with the city you're tuning in from. I'd love to picture where you're joining me, whether it's a sleepy town or a city buzzing with life. Hit that like button if this hooks you even a little. It fuels me to keep digging into these bold truths for you. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and tap the bell so you're locked in for every revelation we drop. If you're ready to face these facts head on, comment 1 below. Let's step into this together, no holding back. Close your eyes for a second and picture yourself at 80, still feeling that familiar tug deep inside, that quiet, insistent urge to connect with your own body in a way that's been yours since those wild, reckless days of youth. Masturbation doesn't just vanish when the calendar flips past 70. Your nerves still hum like faint strings on an old guitar. Your blood still courses through veins that remember. Your desire still flickers like a stubborn flame refusing to die. But here's the first hard truth you need to swallow. Your body's not the rugged machine it once was. Dr. Alan Pierce, a geriatric specialist who's seen decades of aging bodies, puts it plain. After 70, the sexual wiring's still there, sparking away, but the hardware's frailer, circulation's slower, tissues are thinner, hormones are dipping low. Research from the Journal of Sexual Medicine nods in agreement. Sexual activity, including self-pleasure, pumps blood flow, releases endorphins, and keeps you feeling vital, alive, even defiant against time. Yet at 70 or 80, that same act puts strain on a system running on fumes, a heart that's tired, joints that creak, skin that's lost its stretch. I saw this play out with my neighbor Tom, 78, a wiry guy with a twinkle in his eye. He'd wink over the fence. "Still got it, kid," proud of his nightly ritual like it was a badge of honor. But one morning he shuffled over, hands trembling, voice low. "Thought it was nothing, but my heart was racing, hands cramped up too." I pressed him. Turns out he'd been at it daily, pushing a body that couldn't keep pace. His doc sat him down. "Pleasure's fine, Tom, but you're not 40. Ease up." It hit him hard. He'd never thought age could rewrite the rules. Now he's down to once or twice a week, says he feels steadier, less like he's teetering on a ledge. Pleasure's still yours to claim, no question, but it's a delicate dance now. Overdo it, and fatigue or discomfort sneak in like uninvited guests. I've tried pacing myself too, after hearing Tom's tale. Less rush, more calm. Balance it. Keep the spark without breaking the bulb. Comment 1 if you're still wired for it. What's your limit these days? Ever turn to masturbation at 75 to melt away the day's weight? The ache in your knees from that long walk, the bills stacking up like a tower, the silence of an empty house pressing in? It's a balm, a soft reset that smooths the edges of a rough world. Studies from the American Psychological Association lay it out clear. It drops cortisol levels, eases stress, even lulls you into sleep. Pure gold for seniors wrestling with restless nights or the gnawing quiet of solitude. But here's the catch, doctor. Pierce doesn't sugarcoat. Push it too far, and that relief flips into exhaustion. Your body's not a bottomless well anymore. At 70 or 80, your energy tank's smaller, and overindulgence siphons it dry, leaving you foggy and frayed instead of refreshed. My aunt, Ellen, 76, leaned into this hard after my uncle passed. Widowed, lonely, she'd self-soothe every night. Beats crying myself to sleep. She'd shrug, her voice brittle but defiant. I'd visit, and she'd be slumped in her chair, eyes dull, naps stretching into hours. Just tired, she'd mumble, brushing it off. But I saw the pattern. Her glow was fading. I dragged her to a therapist friend of mine, who pinned it. Ellen, you're overdoing it. It's draining you. She scoffed at first. What's the harm? But after a week of cutting back to twice weekly and swapping some nights for a walk or a call with me, she lit up again, sharper, laughing more. I've felt that pull myself. Late nights when stress bites, it's tempting to overreach. It's a lifeline, not a crutch. Use it to unwind, not unravel. Comment 2 if it calms your storms. How else do you let go? At 70 or 80, your hormones, testosterone for the guys, estrogen for the ladies, are a faint whisper of their roaring past. Libido softens like a breeze dying down. Arousal takes a little coaxing, a slower climb. Masturbation, though, stokes that ember, keeps it from going cold. Dr. Pierce explains, it's like a gym workout for your endocrine system. Keeps hormones trickling, tissues responsive, even if it's just a spark. A urology study backs him up. Regular stimulation ties to better prostate health in men, less stagnation, and vaginal elasticity in women, less dryness. Small wins, but they matter when your body's slowing. My friend's dad, George, 81, swears by this. Post-stroke, hunched but stubborn, he'd grin. Keeps me ticking. Doc says it's good. His neurologist nodded. Moderate self-pleasure kept his circulation humming, his libido from flatlining entirely. But George learned the hard way too. Overdid it once. Felt woozy, had to lie down. Too much juice, he chuckled, easing to weekly, no rush. I've watched him shuffle less, stand taller. It's real. Too much though, and those hormone spikes tire you out. A roller coaster your body can't ride. I've felt that edge myself, pushing past comfort, then dragging. It's a booster shot, not a cure. Keep it steady. Comment 3 if you feel it fading. What keeps your fire going? Imagine masturbation at 77 as your private retreat. A corner of the world where no one's watching, no one's judging, where you're still you, not just that old guy down the street. It's empowering, says Dr. Pierce. A reclaiming of autonomy when age strips so much away. Mobility, independence, even visibility. It fights the loneliness that creeps in, boosts self-esteem when society shoves seniors to the margins. Vital stuff when you're feeling like a ghost in your own life. But here's the sting that'll catch you off guard. Lean too hard into that sanctuary, and it turns into a cave, a hiding spot that pulls you away from the connections that keep you human. My Uncle Ray, 79, fell headlong into this trap. After losing his wife of 50 years, he'd retreat to his room. Better alone, he'd mutter, voice flat. self-pleasuring daily to fill the gaping void she left. I'd knock, find him distant, curtains drawn, house dim as his mood. "Don't need anyone," he'd snap, but his eyes were hollow, pleading otherwise. I dragged him to his pastor one Sunday, coffee dates, church chatter, and he eased off, started breathing again. "Missed the light," he admitted, sipping tea with me last week. I've felt that pull too, nights when solitude tempts me inward. It's a gift, not a lifeline. Balance it with voices, faces, life. Comment 4 if it's your escape. What pulls you back out? Ever noticed at 73 how your hands stiffen mid-act, fingers curling like they've forgotten how to move? Or your skin chafes where it used to glide? Aging joints and thinning tissues turn pleasure into a grind if you're not careful. Dr. Pierce warns, arthritis, neuropathy, overuse strains them hard at this age. Friction without care risks soreness, even numbness. Your nerves aren't as forgiving as they were, and your skin's lost that youthful give. My pal's mom, Sue, 74, hit this wall and didn't see it coming. "Still enjoy it," she'd whisper over tea, a shy smile breaking through. But her wrists ached after, fingers fumbled like they'd gone rogue. "Thought I'd tough it out," she laughed, brushing it off as age, until I slipped her a bottle of lubricant one Christmas, wrapped in a scarf so she wouldn't blush. "Wish I'd known sooner," she beamed a month later. Pain gone, ease back, her hands thanking her. I've tried it too. Makes a difference when my knuckles protest. Moderation and lube, your allies at this stage. Comment 5 if your body's grumbling mid-move. What's your workaround? Your heart at 80's a trooper, a battered old engine that's carried you this far, but it's tired, valves creaking, rhythm slowing. Masturbation pumps it up, in a good way, literally. The Journal of Cardiology ties it to better circulation, lower blood pressure, a mini workout that keeps the pipes clear. But Dr. Pierce flags the flip side with a frown. Too frequent, and it's a stress test. Racing pulse, breathlessness, a load your heart might not bear. Aging tickers can't always handle the sprint, especially if you've got a history lurking. My grandpa Jim, 82, didn't see this curveball. "Keeps me young," he'd boast thrice weekly like clockwork, until a dizzy spell mid-act dropped him to the couch, gasping, hands clutching his chest. "Scared me stiff," he admitted over porridge, pale as the oats, his doc ordering a cutback fast. "Thought I was invincible," he sighed. "Now it's twice monthly, steady, no scares." I felt my own pulse jump. Makes you think. It's a boost, not a race. Pace it slow, listen close. Comment 6 if your heart's raced lately. What's your rhythm now? Ever felt that twinge of shame at 70? Hand pausing mid-motion, wondering if you're too old for this? If the neighbors would smirk or the kids would cringe? Society's hush is deafening. Sex is for the young, the fit, the glossy magazine covers, not for wrinkled hands or silver hair. Dr. Pierce sighs, "It's nonsense. Pleasure doesn't clock out at 65. Studies from the archives of sexual behavior show seniors who masturbate report higher life satisfaction, more joy, defying the stigma's cold lie that you should fade into celibate silence. My cousin's grandma, Lila, 77, carried this weight. People'd laugh, she'd whisper, guilt shadowing her quiet joy, church whispers, old rules haunting her. I sat her down one rainy afternoon, tea steaming between us. "Own it, Lila. It's yours," I said, fierce. She blinked, then smiled slow. "Maybe I will." Now she's happier, freer, guilt shed like an old coat. I've wrestled those whispers too, pushed them aside. It's your right, not their call. Screw the judgment. Comment 7 if you felt those eyes. What's your defiance look like? These 7 truths, Fragile wiring, stress swings, hormone sparks, solo traps, aching joints, heart limits, society's glare. Lay it out raw. At 70 or 80, masturbation's a double-edged gift, a flame that warms or burns. Tom's cramped hands, Ellen's foggy slump, Ray's dim retreat, Jim's gasping scare. They stumbled hard, learned harder. You don't have to trip over the same stones. You're the captain here. Keep it moderate once or twice a week with care. Lean on lube, weave it into life, not apart from it. It's not taboo, it's yours to shape. Healthier, bolder, fiercely yours. What's your aha moment? Comment your number and story. What's shifting in your world? I'm here, reading every word, cheering you on. Like this, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's age fierce, not frail. You've got the reins. Grab them, tweak it, thrive.